Over the last 7 days, I've analyzed over 100 different rental properties to determine the one rental property that will absolutely crush it in 2026. Just remember, you've got to keep it a secret because every other person on the platform seems to be telling you that there is no good real estate to purchase in 2026, that there is no cash flow, and that you should give up. And that is not true. As a matter of fact, it couldn't be further from the truth. So, with that being said, let's jump into it. All right, guys, I should just keep this to myself and just continue to crush it in buy and hold real estate and in all the things that we're doing. However, I'm just a little bit petty, and over and over and over again, I'm seeing so many people in the space saying that cash flowing real estate is dead, that the only reason people are buying real estate is for tax benefits, that even though it's still a phenomenal investment on principal pay down and on tax benefits and on appreciation and on cash flow if you buy it, that somehow all of the real estate influencers that have been high on it have now turned from real estate. And it's been so fascinating for me to watch on so many levels. But in this video, I'm going to talk about all that I found after analyzing hundreds of rental properties and the peak property for you to purchase in 2026 that will deliver on all fronts, but especially on cash flow. The other day, I went to the grocery store and I was picking up some strawberries to make crepes for my kids. And I went and I picked up the first thing of strawberries and there was a little mold. I picked up another one. It was a little squishy. I picked up another one, really squishy and moldy. I went through probably about 15 cartons of strawberries. And maybe some people think I'm an idiot, but I finally found the perfect thing of strawberries. There was no mold. They looked fresh. They weren't squishy. Every strawberry around the entire bin was just perfect. And I couldn't help but ask myself, who is buying all of these other bins of strawberries? Who isn't willing to take the time to just look a little bit for the perfect bin of strawberries that's going to yield the best crepes possible? As a matter of fact, a lot of people are just throwing their money away on mold. And then I said to myself, these strawberries are only $5 to $10. But how many real estate investors do I know that are complaining because there are no good deals because they picked up one thing of strawberries? Or the other real estate investors that are saying, hey, you've got to settle and just admit that you're going to lose money every single month just to get the tax benefits. And it really hit me that the world has always been this way. There have always been good deals, there have always been bad deals, and there have always been lazy investors. And fortunately and unfortunately for the people that are lazy, and fortunately for the people who are willing to go and do the work, there will always be good deals in real estate, in any market. Because that's what's so cool about a free market is you can find motivated sellers. So I cannot pound it into your head enough, all of the talk of interest rates are too high, the market is crazy, on and on and on and on. Guess what? The market in a lot of places is down. There's lots of fear, there's lots of anxiety, there's lots of concern, and most of all, there's lots of negativity saying that you cannot find cash flowing deals. So I want to start this video by saying you can, first of all. And second of all, if you're able to use that same fear, all of those emotions, while conversing with a seller, a lot of those sellers are willing to move their prices. Anyone that comes and says, Chandler, there are no deals. Well, yeah, if you look on the MLS at listed prices, odds of those cash flowing and meeting your criteria are probably pretty low, right? And are there people buying those deals that aren't good deals? Yes, I think those are the people that are driving home the fact of, yeah, I just spent $100,000 or $200,000 on a down payment for a property that I lose money on every single month. I think that, man, you proved it. You bought a bad deal. That does happen in today's market and on a pretty consistent basis. However, I'm telling you that if you are willing to look for a good deal, you will find it. And more importantly, there are certain markets and certain niches that are absolutely crushing it right now if you're willing to go and find them so that you can not only have appreciation and principal pay down and tax benefits, but you can also have very, very strong cash flow. So after analyzing hundreds of properties, here's what I found. In the majority of markets, if you go and you look at a single family home, a lot of them now $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000. Some markets over $1 million. Are you going to cash flow buying one of these properties when the rents are substantially lower than your mortgages? No. So should you buy those properties? No, you can analyze those till you're blue in the face. But if you have a property that, in order to cash flow, would need to come down $2, $3, $400,000, are you going to be able to make those numbers work? No, you're just not. So if you want to buy these properties, are there strategies where you can find a motivated seller that will sell $100,000 or $200,000 below market? Yes, but is the most likely upside for you going to be flipping or wholesaling or reselling that property? Yeah, there's a huge return there. That's a great opportunity, and you can find motivated sellers in those markets. But is it something that you're going to want to hold on to? Probably not. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me to lose money every month in something that you're investing in. All right, let's talk large multifamily. A lot of the influencers that I'm watching that are negative on real estate, they went and bought when rates were low and when they thought values were going to continue to go up. And they weren't very smart with their financing, and so they bought these with 5-year balloons. 5 years rolled around, and they got caught with their pants down because now rates are really high, and the market hasn't done what they needed it to, and rents haven't done what they needed it to. And now they're screwed because they've got a bunch of investors that they told them they were the guru to go to, and they can't really pay their investors. Do I know a lot of people in this scenario that are good people? Yeah, crap happens. But that property wasn't analyzed right, and they didn't protect money properly. Now, when it comes to large multifamily real estate, are there really, really tight cap rates? There are right now. And does that mean you can't find some with lower cap rate or with higher cap rates and higher returns? No, they don't completely not exist. But in that niche, you're competing against a lot of big fish that are playing with very, very fine margins. If you're having to go into an IRR in 5 and 10 years down the road to justify your purchase because of where the cash flow is now, is that something I personally would use my hard-earned money to invest in? Probably not. I want something that I know is going to get my yield right now, get the returns that I want, and have fixed interest rates where I know I'm not going to end up in trouble down the road. Another asset class that as you're analyzing those properties, it can get difficult. Now, are there strategies to make that work? Of course. I'm not telling you that there aren't. There are always strategies to make it work in certain niches, and there are always going to be people crushing in those specific niches. Now, we could go through lots of asset classes, whether you're looking at triple net leases. There are some opportunities, there are some that aren't. There are a lot of different ways you can invest in real estate, whether that's self-storage, whether that's trailers, whether that's trailer parks. Well, I mean, I don't need to list all of these. And are there people crushing it in each one of these niches? Yes, there are. It's funny, I had someone come out to my retreat this last month, and the retreat was phenomenal. Awesome experience. He invests specifically in California. Now, if you were to ask me right now, the one place that I would not invest, it would be multifamily in California. But guess what? He has found an absurdly cool niche. He has a great relationship with the city, and he is raking in cash hand over fist. I look at that situation, and it just hit home to me again that anytime someone says to you, hey, real estate doesn't work, and they're willing to take that broad lens of the market is bad, there are no opportunities right now, you should probably check them off your list for someone to go to for advice when it comes to real estate, because they've been cynical, they haven't done the research right, they've gotten burned, most likely for doing things inappropriately. Where there are other people that are always crushing it when they find the right niche and they do things the right way. So I'm not going to go through all of the different things that I determined were not right for me, because that potentially could even make me look bad, because I know there are people crushing it in all of these spaces. I do want to share with you the 2 niches that I have found for my skill set and my expertise that are crushing it right now, and in my opinion are extraordinary opportunities for everyone, because they're niches that would be very easy to figure out. Now, in order for me to explain these niches, I want to share an experience with you, and I'm going to do more videos about this in the future, but I started purchasing property in Cleveland, Ohio, and I was buying properties that the numbers were absurd. I mean, we're talking 20, 25, 30% cash on cash returns in areas that I felt really good about. What I've learned is you can have some areas that if you're in the wrong area for, crime and for bad tenants and for evictions, you're fighting an uphill battle. Are there people that get the correct systems in place and crush it in those markets? There are. Is it something that I've enjoyed? No, it's not. And so being very careful in these Midwest cities about going to the right areas is extremely important. Now, you can go the other direction and people will say, do not invest in Midwest cities because of crime and those issues. This approach is also absurd because there are so many phenomenal people and phenomenal renters and phenomenal areas in a lot of these cities. And the reason that so many people are flocking to the Midwest to invest is because you have home prices that have stayed low while rents have increased. And so it's very easy to find properties that cash flow. Now, I pulled a list, and this isn't me, this is Claude that pulled this list, but these are all the cities where right now on market, that is the scenario, where rents are more than high enough compared to average home prices to where it makes a ton of sense to go and work as an investor and buy an asset that cash flows really well. These are markets like Ohio, Indiana, Missouri, Tennessee, Illinois, Oklahoma, Maryland, Florida. Now, I wanted to pick just general states. There are multiple cities outside of these states that this is also true. Now, do you have to do your own research and find them? Yes. But I'm telling you right now, there are so many states and especially so many cities right now where home values have stayed here and rents have come to here to where they make phenomenal sense for cash flowing real estate. Now, are there some risky areas in any state and in any city? Of course, there are always going to be. And that's why you need to do your research and make sure that you're buying in the right locations. Here's the other thing that I learned while investing in these areas. A lot of the numbers looked really, really good on multifamily stuff, especially 4 units. However, I've had more issues with tenants and evictions in multi-unit properties in some of these B and C neighborhoods than my single-family homes. My single-family homes that I've purchased here have crushed it to the point where I probably have a confidence of just starting to put in, instead of using who I've been using to source these deals, just putting in offers on single-family homes and doing inspections in these areas where you can see that the rents are $1,800 and you can buy a home for close to $100,000. That cash flow is nuts. And you're dealing with tenants where legitimately I just placed a tenant this last month that I wanted to see kind of what our screening metric was. They had over an 800 credit score, a stable job. They just wanted to rent a really cool home. And that's what we had, was a turnkey home that we had picked up for $120,000 that they were willing to rent for $1,800. That's nuts. That's a phenomenal investment. And what's really cool about that is I'm banking pretty strongly on some of these areas also having great appreciation, also having principal pay down, obviously, having the tax benefits, and having super strong cash flow. So that is the first place that I would tell you right now, and you watch, over the next 5 to 10 years, I think we will see investors swarm. I'm seeing it already. But single-family homes in markets where you can get into a home that cash flows, how can you lose on an investment like that? I think that it is something that has a massive upside in every category. And unfortunately and fortunately, we're going to look back in 10, 15, 20 years. And what Idaho used to be, I think Ohio, Indiana, Missouri, a lot of these states will be viewed that way of like, why did we not go buy more single-family homes and more multifamily real estate? Just understanding that the multifamily real estate, you've got to be a little bit more careful, because if you're in slightly more sketchy areas, out in these areas, I've just had a lot more issues with tenants having issues with each other, which ends up causing more frustration. I think, too, the reason for that is you have to ask yourself, if there is a fourplex and each unit is renting at $1,300 or $1,400, but they could go get a single-family home between $1,500 and $1,800, what kind of tenant is drawn to the multifamily homes when these single-family homes are available for just a couple $100 more? And I think that's why I have gone full force into single-family homes in the market that I'm working in the Midwest. And I think that if you want to crush it, that is a phenomenal space for you. Now, there's one more point that I want to make. Multifamily real estate all over the country, there are niches where you can crush it and find cash flowing real estate. But I have found one specific niche that is so undervalued And I think that competition is still very low in comparison to everything else. I think there are lots of larger institutional investors competing for everything that is 50 units and higher. I think there are lots of new investors competing for 4 units and lower. Now, if you find either of these categories off market, can you still crush it? Yes, you can find motivated sellers that have dilapidated properties, that haven't increased rents, and crush it in these niches, but competition is higher. Where I have found competition to be very low is from 5 to 50 units. And the reason for this is you can't use conventional financing. All right. You need to get a commercial loan or work out seller financing. And a lot of the big guys aren't fighting for these properties. What that means is there's lower competition from both ends. And I have found extraordinary deals going after these specific kinds of deals with mailer marketing, with using Deal Machine and tracking down the information and reaching out to the owner, with going and hitting these up on the MLS because they sit there for over 100 days because they're wanting that higher value at 5.5 cap rates like everything else is going, but they're not going to get it because it doesn't make sense for people trying to get that kind of financing, and people just aren't interested in it because when you're looking at a 4-unit property and you can get a 30-year fixed loan with lower interest rates, and that jump to a 5-unit property makes it so now you've got to get a commercial loan, most likely with a 5-year balloon, worse interest rates, you've got to form a whole new relationship, you've got to be held to completely different standards. That scares a lot of people away. And when you go and explain that to someone, it makes them much more likely to be open to seller finance or to lowering their price. So in 2026, if I'm you and I'm wanting to get into cash flowing real estate, these are the 2 places that I'm going to focus. I'm going to go full bore into Midwest areas where I can see that I can get a phenomenal home that will cash flow extremely well, or I'm going to go all in on 5 to 50 units. Now, what's interesting about me and this YouTube channel is I'm creating competition. I've seen it in my own market, but there's more than enough real estate for all of us to go around because there are so many people that go in to buy strawberries and they just pick the trash, or they take one look and they walk away when there is that prime box of strawberries somewhere at the bottom if you're just willing to do a little extra work to get it. Now, if you're surrounded by all the negativity of the people that say strawberries aren't worth eating anymore, well, guess what? That's good news if you're willing to get around the people that are eating good strawberries and having crepes on a weekly basis, which I thoroughly enjoy. Now, if you didn't get that analogy, I apologize. If you did, come and join the Creative Cash Flow Club and surround yourself with like-minded people who believe there's still real estate there and who are actually buying deals. And I put that link down in the description. And if you don't know how to analyze properties, I've also put a link down below. Go learn how to do it so you can see what a cash flowing piece of real estate actually looks like. Now, with all of that being said, I hope you are leaving this video encouraged to go buy cash flowing real estate. You can do it. I promise you it exists. And stop listening to the naysayers. Maybe just block their content because it's not worth listening to if you're genuinely serious about buying what I believe to be the best investment of all time. And I don't think it's going anywhere. So if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, hit the little bell. We'll look forward to seeing you in future videos. Thanks, guys.